Hello there. So this is the first lesson in an intermediate level series, which we're going to build a weather application. So we're going to use JavaScript to get data from somewhere else, another server, and we're going to be able to show that data that we get from that server on our website. So here we go then. Let's make a start. So I've just done my setup as before, right? I've got a website, I've got my index.html, and here's, it's not that one, is it? It's this one, yeah. Right, we're just going to start by putting a couple of things in here. So I'm going to put the weather in, and then you put your city here, is here. All right, so that could be Barnet or London, wherever you are. Just pop it in there. And then we're going to have a P tag here. And we're going to give the P an ID of weather. Like that. Okay, now we're not going to put anything inside that P tag because we're going to, well, actually, let's just put sunny for now. You'll see why in a minute. I'll just take that out. So we're not going to do any CSS in this course, all right? We're just going to do JavaScript. So we need a script tag. Like so. Now, let's first of all, we need to find our latitude and longitude, so where we are in the world. So let's just say it's that. It's not, but I'm just going to pretend it is, and let longitude 0. Well, yeah, that'll do. Right, so now we've got those two. Do you remember what these are for? Why we have let? You could have var, it doesn't really matter. But we have let or var because they are variables. It's a strange name, isn't it, variables? But variables allow us to store, to have different data. Now, why they're called variables? Because you think variables means that things that change, right? If it's variable, then it alters. Well, that's exactly what we're doing here. Because the rest of our code is fixed. It's not alterable, right? You've already written it at the time you get to the variable. The variable will alter what happens with that code. Which path the code will take depends on the variables. All right, that's why they're called variables. Okay, so we're going to also have let result equals sunny. Now, so remember I had sunny here. So what we want to do is put sunny, that's sunny, in there. So we're going to have result in there instead. But we can't just do that. That won't work, will it? Because this is HTML and that is JavaScript. So what we need to do is get the element, get hold of this in our JavaScript, and then write this to it. How do we do that? Let's get our element. So that element is, how do we do that? Oh, look at that. Document, get element by ID weather. Or, as somebody pointed out, you could also do query selector and then do hash. Hash means ID weather. So it doesn't matter which one you do, they're equivalent. And then you've got the element. We also had a little discussion today about why we have semicolons and why not to have semicolons. Basically, before, computers didn't know how to end. They didn't know this was the end of that statement unless you put a semicolon in it. But more recently, compilers are smart enough to know that's the end of that line. So they don't need semicolons anymore. We could leave them in just for completion, but we could also leave them out. It's up to you. Now, is this going to work? Well, I don't know. I've got to make sure that I've got the right thing here. So what I'm going to do, just to make sure, is console.log. And this will allow me to see what the value of this variable is if I put it in here. Right. What do you think is going to happen? Can you tell what's going to happen at this stage? I'll let you think about that whilst I open it in a browser. So I'm just going to drop this. Here's my browser. Just drop this into here. Right, so it's got it. Now I'm just going to right click and inspect element. Now you may remember that will allow us to see what's going on under the hood, so to speak. So here's what my document is saying, what I've put in it already. but this is what's going on under the surface. So this is my HTML. There's my CSS over there. And here in the console is my JavaScript. Now make sure I've saved that. Reload this. Reload. Ah, we've got an error. What's the error? It's at the bottom. Yeah. No. Okay. So our console, no, it's definitely that, because if you put this before it, element is, and then the element, if you reload it again now, you'll see element is null. Or you could even do, this is just a little bit too clever perhaps, but you can wrap this in curly braces and then it will show you what element is. Element null. Okay, so that gives you the what you called it and then the value of the thing. All right. It doesn't have it. Why? Did you work it out? Have a think about it a minute. Why did this not work? Because we clearly have named it the same thing. Look, weather, ID. That's an ID. Definitely is the right thing. Okay. Well, when the computer gets this program, what does it do? It runs through it top to bottom. Okay, starts on line 1 and then goes and says, okay, this is a HTML document, and it goes to line 2. Okay, it's HTML and the language is English. Okay, you've got a head here. Okay, now you've got this, now you've got that. And it gets to the point where we find the element. And it goes, oh, I can't find this. Why not? Because it doesn't exist yet, because we only created it here. So it gets here and it goes, I don't know what you're talking about. And so it returns null. Okay, because the rest of the document hasn't loaded yet. So let's do this. Let's just cut that out. So what we're going to do now is on the document element, our page, we're going to add an event listener. Okay, and the event listener is called, stop it, GitHub Copilot, is DOM content loaded. Okay, I'm just going to stop there for now. So I'll add this event listener, which means when the DOM content or the document object model, so all of this stuff, the thing that writes our page, when that has loaded, then do stuff. How do we know what it's going to do? I'm going to tell it by having a second argument in this function. So we want a comma, a space, and then a function. Right, so we've got roundy brackets and then squiggly brackets here, directly after the function, and this must be spelled exactly as it is here. So just be conscious of that. So we want a comma, and then function, curly brackets, roundy brackets, and then curly brackets. All right, now give yourselves a bit of space by putting the cursor in the middle and pressing enter. Now we've got that. Right, now we can put this. All right. Now, if you save that and rerun it, reload, you'll find I've got my element. Here is the p tag ID weather. So now it's found it because it's this is running. This block of code is running after the document has loaded. Right, cool. We don't know the console log anymore because we've got it. Excellent. How cool is that? Right. That's good. So we've got our element. So last thing for today's lesson is we just want to get the there we go, element in a text actually. Is the result. So what we're doing is we're getting the elements in a text and we're assigning it to the result. So we're popping sunny in there. Now, if you save that and then once again reload your page, the weather in London is sunny. Yay! All right, cool. That's the first lesson. All right, we've got much more to come. Next time we're going to do fetch. We're going to fetch data from an API, a weather API, and then we're going to show it in the screen. But just something else we did as well, which I didn't tell you about. Right, so is this. So let me just put this up a bit. Right, so we tried out the terminal. Okay, so we did a couple of things in the terminal. We tried ping google.com, which pings Google, tells you that, yeah, Google is up and you are connected to it. We also did, oh, to stop that one, by the way, you press the control button and C. So I think on a Mac it will just keep running. On a PC it will stop after like 4 or something. Yeah, it's going to keep going, isn't it? All right, let's stop it. Control C to stop. And then we also did curl. Curl is very useful. Curl is get URL. So you could put wttr.in and then your city, London. Do that and then press enter. Look what happens. You get a little pretty thing. Right, in the morning it's going to be sunny. At noon it's going to be partly cloudy. In the evening it's going to be, so it's a weather report, isn't it? It's clear. It's 20 degrees in London right now. So this is a cool thing. So what we did, we contacted this server. We told it where we were, and it returned, or it gave us back, a weather report for London. How cool is that? So we're going to do this, but on a website. All right, that's what we're going to do in the next lesson. All right, cool. I hope that was useful, instructive, and fun. And I'll see you in the next one.